Right.
And then on the front of your, oh, sorry. So it's a clip, and you could just clip it like on the inside of your shirt right there. You should feel it like open up, and then you'll just press down. Sit.
Put your legs. Wait, young lady. Yeah, sorry.
There you go. Perfect. All right. So you got your remote ready.
Yeah.
And one thing you can do is if you grab by her collar and that button on the front above your screen that says pager, you see that gray button? That's a vibration.
Yep.
So go ahead and grab your collar and you're gonna hit that pager. It's just gonna vibrate. Do you feel the vibration?
Yep.
Okay, so we're on, okay? I do that as a check. Whenever you turn it on and off, I'll always hit the vibrate. Because sometimes you'll turn it on, you'll hit the vibrate, and it'll be dead.
Yeah.
Or the battery gives or something like that. So, and then even when you're working with her, if you notice like you're at 100 and you're seeing no response from her, I'll grab the collar, hit the vibrate, no vibration, something's wrong. Yeah. Okay. So that's just a check. So that this way you're not going up and up and up and up, and all of a sudden it's like, what? We got to connect.
Yeah.
So right now, what is your collar currently set to?
So it's 0.
That's going to go to 15.
Okay.
And if you land 14, 16, it's fine, just general range.
Yep. Yep.
And then when I say tap, you're going to press that bumpy button on the side there.
Yep.
Okay. Tap, tap, tap. No response, go to 20.
Okay.
Tap, tap, tap. So maybe a response there. Let's go 25.
Okay. Okay.
Tap, tap, tap. 30.
Okay.
Tap. Wait a sec. Tap. Wait a sec. Tap. Okay, so right there, you see the first two got like a head shake and that third one not so much?
Yeah.
We're gonna go up 5 levels again, 35.
It says it's going past 35.
Excuse me?
It actually says it, you know, I'm not trying to make it go past 35, but it went up to like 37 already.
Oh, so the output, so it goes to 127, is that the output is for a 35-pound dog or under.
Okay.
Okay, so the difference is the black edition is meant for dogs 70 pounds and over.
Yep.
This one's meant for 35 pounds and under.
So how does that, if they're both going up to 127, what does that mean?
The output, so
it gets
cut
in half?
on the black edition, I'm sorry, on your collar, let's say it's 60. On the black edition, it could be 30, but it comes across the same, except at a lower level.
Okay.
So yeah, it's more output.
Okay.
Tap on the gray button, on the, not gray, on the bumpy button.
Yep.
Tap, tap, tap. All right, let's go 40.
Okay.
Tap, tap. All right, wait a second. Tap, tap. And that's 40?
Yeah.
Let's go 45.
Okay.
And tap. Tap. Okay. See how she's moving there? So go ahead and reposition so you're more comfortable. Okay. So what we're doing here is there's 3 levels: connection, perception, and working. Connection is when you see the twitch. So let's say she's staring at a squirrel. You see this, you have connection, but she's still focused on that squirrel.
Yeah.
She's not caring about it.
Yeah.
Perception is when she's staring at the squirrel, you see the twitch, and she kind of looks around like what's going on. Working level is when you see a bigger reaction.
Okay.
So she's looking at the squirrel, you see a twitch, and she's like, whoa, what was that? Okay. And we always want to be operating at that working level. That may change according to the environment, according to what's going on around her. So like here, it's a pretty busy day at Palmer Square.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure is.
So if we can get her to chill and relax here, everything else should be easier. Okay. So that's why that working number is important. We have 127 levels. So don't limit yourself, because that's what people do. They go like, well, I don't want to go past 60. I'm like, well, if we don't go past 60, we may not fix the problem, okay? She tells us what's too high and what's too low. If she's yipping and yelping, every time you tap her, you're probably too high. And if she's not listening, you're probably too low. Somewhere in the middle, okay? Now, there are exceptions to this rule of the vocalization, because just because she vocalizes doesn't mean it's physical discomfort. It can be surprise, she wasn't expecting it, or it can be frustration, she doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah.
Okay? So all that is stuff that we figure out as we go along. So at that 40 to 45, we saw her kind of give more response. So that's going to be what I would call the beginning working level. Okay? Because it's a spectrum. So don't get married to that number. It may change tomorrow, it may change tonight, it may change in a week from now. Okay? So this exercise that I'm going to cover with you is the foundation for e-collar, which is the core of addressing the reactivity that you're dealing with.
Yep.
Okay? So questions before I get started.
I saw the video that talked about not using the pinch collar. I brought one if we really needed it, but I assume we don't want to do it and we'll just focus on this.
So we definitely don't want to use that harness.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's a snap buckle collar, correct?
Correct.
Snap buckle meaning like like that.
Yeah.
Because she's such a large dog, that harness contradicts, or not, it goes against the e-collar.
Okay.
The e-collar says don't pull, harness says pull.
Yeah.
Now we have conflicting messages. That flat collar is going to work more to her benefit than it is to yours.
Yep.
And it could potentially break as well. I've had dogs break from snap collars. Do you have your prong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, pop it on her.
All right. It's the it's got one of those alligator clips though, so I know it's not the ideal one, but it's the only one I had for the moment.
Okay. So just pop it on her, it's fine.
Above or underneath the e-collar?
Let's go above.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go above.
She's got so many pieces of jewelry on now.
We're gonna once you get your confidence in how this is working,
Yeah.
you can eliminate a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Now you fitted an alligator clip before to her?
Yeah.
So you're familiar with it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So clip on the.
And what I'm gonna borrow you for the class, for safety's sake, is there's a way to carabiner.
So as a backup.
Yeah, you would put this through your e-collar loop.
Okay.
And I think you can put it to one of the rings on the prong collar.
Clip through there and here.
Yeah, and that will help secure it. So even if that alligator clip came undone, she's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna just toss this her away.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. So carabiner through. Hold still. I know. Hold still, please. All right, so the carabiner's on the e-collar loop and the pinch collar.
And then you would just clip your leash to the pinch collar ring, not the carabiner.
Okay.
Okay.
Still a young lady.
There you go. So actually, if you don't, you can just get a carabiner to secure her.
Yeah.
But this way you're not having to buy a whole new prong collar.
Yeah.
That's
I think I've got something like that actually at home, because even when I've used this with her in the past, I had always had it clipped to a second collar of some sort.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So you could do that. In the
This
meantime,
is very unlike her, by the way.
What's up?
This is very unlike her.
Oh, it's from the taps from earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's.
So go ahead and get your remote ready. Now I'm going to demonstrate this first.
Okay.
And then I'm going to coach you through it. Okay.
So let me just give you one more little bit of history. Maybe it doesn't matter, but just for general context. Last time we met, we talked about that we had tried another trainer with her before, and that was the guy that was the military experienced guy.
Correct.
And all that stuff, right? And so he had walked us through the e-collar and all that stuff. We used to board her with him as well.
Yep.
And you know, give him a chance to train her a little bit, but it was also just, it was a safe place to board her, or so we thought.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he left the collar on her or something.
Oh, sure.
And something got wet. So
oh, yeah.
she really got burned.
Was with the e-collar?
Yes.
So with that, probably it's either a hot spot, which, so with the body heat and the warmth of the collar, if there's moisture, it creates a hot spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not so much an electrical burn, as it's the same thing if a dog licks a spot for too long,
Yeah.
or too often, or too frequently, it becomes a hot spot as well.
She, I mean, we had to take her to the vet, and
Yeah.
you know, the vet almost like called the cops on us, like, what are you doing to your dog?
Yeah, that's whatever. They're overreacting.
I don't know if that gives her a history that she's going to remember with any of this shit, but
Doesn't matter.
okay.
They
All
can
right.
always relearn. They can always. I get plenty of dogs that were either trained incorrectly,
Yep.
either through a trainer or the owner itself, like themselves not understanding how it works.
Okay.
I've had dogs pretty reactive to the collar because of misteaching, but that's why we have to teach it the right way. Okay. In regards to your vet, I get a new vet if you have the same one,
All right.
because I get it. It's a hot spot, but to make a big deal like that, like animal abuse and stuff like that, is stupid.
Okay.
Okay. So, with this exercise, there's 3 main instructions I'm going to give you. One is turn, tap, and pull. I train traditionally on the left. Does that work for you?
Sure.
Okay. Turn, tap, pull to the left. Okay.
Okay.
Every time I say turn, you're going to make a 180 turn to the immediate right like this. Okay. Turn like this.
Okay.
Turn like this. Keeping it rapid, keeping it fluid. Turn like this. Always to the right. Always a 180. Okay. Next thing I'm going to say is tap, and we're going to combine turn and tap together. So it's going to be turn, tap, tap, tap. Good. Turn, tap, tap, tap. Good. Turn, tap, 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 tap. Good. Okay.
Always 3.
There may be more than 3. Each time I say tap, that is 1 press of the button.
Okay.
So if I say tap, 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 that would be your rhythm.
Okay.
If I say tap, 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 that would then be your rhythm. Okay. When I say good, that's to let you know that she's doing something, she's doing what I'm wanting her to do. Okay, so that's more for you, not for her. Because people hear the good and they're thinking it's for the dog. Oh, no, dog doesn't understand, right? It's for you, so when you hear me say good, you're like, okay, this must be what we're looking for. Okay, it just helps clear things up a bit. Last thing I'm gonna say is pull to the left. As you're walking, she may flush to your right side. Okay, so you're gonna keep walking, pull to the left, tap as I say tap, and she should flush, tap. Relax, good. She should flush from your right side over to your left side.
Okay.
Okay. Once she's over to your left side, we would relax and keep moving forward. Now, for this exercise, we're gonna have to give her slack. So when we have a reactive dog, we tend to take away slack because we want to restrict the dog's ability to lunge. Okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna go the opposite of what we typically do for the sake of training. I will be your eyes, so I'll be watching for the environment and let you know if there's a bike or something. So if I say bike, dog, or whatever, you can like clear the way, or it's usually going to be coming from behind, obviously, because you can't see behind you.
Yep.
And then if she becomes reactive, I will coach you through it. So like right now, she lunged and you gave 1 tap on the collar, right?
Yep.
And you see how quickly that just shut her down?
Yep.
So for now, because this is her introduction, 45, cut her out of that like that, okay? It should feel that simple. It should not feel like an argument when you're trying to control your dog.
Okay.
This is why that working number is so important, because if it's too low, she's gonna blow right past it, okay? Questions?
Not so far.
Okay, so go ahead and bring her forward.
Yeah, come.
We're gonna keep it most likely here,
Okay.
because that German Shepherd is off leash,
Yeah.
okay? Welcome to the real world.
Good tests around here.
So go ahead and pull up on your leash and tap, pull up. Okay, cool. Now take a step back so she's to your left. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna give slack, 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 like that. Now take your handle over your left thumb. You're gonna put your thumb through the handle loop and then pull the handle down.
You want it on my wrist?
No, no, no. I'm gonna show you how to hold your leash. There you go. And then slack how you had it before. So for your left thumb, like this, through the loop, okay? Take your slack. So put the loop over your thumb first, like that. Take your slack over your pointer finger. Open your fingers over here.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yep, now,
Watch
like
it.
this.
Okay, got it.
Over your pointer. Now hold your fingers out like this. Yeah, and you're gonna clasp your hand around it like that. Clasp. There you go. So that is what we call the trainer hold. Okay, so this cannot be pulled out your thumb. This locks your leash as well. So you have 2 locks right there. So that keeps the leash nice and secure, and it's not a bunch of clutter.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you wrap it around your fingers, I've had people break fingers.
Yeah.
Because they wrapped it around and the dog lunges and all that pressure just compresses, okay?
Yep.
Go ahead and let the right hand go. So if you need to step aside, you could step aside, okay? Just do what you would normally do, because I understand we're giving more slack here. But as we progress, you're gonna start to just see the control, but she has to make mistakes in order to learn what not to do, okay? So we're gonna try to keep it here, keep an eye on that dog over there, and go ahead and come to the sidewalk. I will be your eyes, and forward, and relax. Turn, tap, tap, good. Relax, keep forward. Turn, tap, 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 good. Yep, keep forward, keep relaxed. Good. Turn, tap, good, keep forward, good, keep forward, keep relaxed, good. You got it, good, keep forward, tap, good, keep forward, good. Keep forward, good. Turn, tap, tap, tap. Pull to your left, tap, tap. Good, relax, keep forward, keep forward. Bike's coming. Good, keep forward, tap. Good. Keep forward, tap. Good. Turn. Good, keep forward, good. Keep forward, good. Tap, tap. Good, keep forward, tap, tap, good. Good, back to sidewalk. Yep, keep forward but on the sidewalk. There you go, good. Turn, tap, good, keep forward, good. Pull left, tap, good. Turn, tap, tap, good. Keep forward, good. Keep forward, tap, good. Keep forward, good. Turn, tap, tap. There you go, keep forward, good. Keep forward, you got it, and relax. Keep forward, good job. Slow turn, tap, forward, good. Keep forward, good, and relax, good. Keep forward. Turn, tap, tap, pull left, tap, good. Keep forward, good. Relax forward, good. Keep forward, good. And it looks like we're gonna have a dog coming from behind. Going to step to the side, to your right. Yep, tap, keep forward. Right, now turn facing me. And then shorten your leash. You're fine. Pull up, tap. Now relax, up, tap, relax. Good, wait a second, good. Give slack back, good. And then walk towards me to the sidewalk. Keep forward, tap. Good, keep forward, good. Keep forward, tap, tap, good. Turn, tap, good. Keep forward, good. Slow walk, keep forward. Slow walk, keep forward. Slower, keep forward. Good, keep forward slow, good. Slow turn. Good turn. Go ahead and pick up pace. Good. Keep forward, tap. Keep forward. Good. There she is. Atta girl. Slow walk. Slow turn. Good turn. Keep forward. Good. Keep forward, tap. Good. Slower, keep forward. Slower. Stop. Good. Okay, so we're gonna ignore this for now. She's like 80%. Focus. If she was 100%, her right shoulder would be right next to that left leg. Okay. Now, do you know why she is turning facing you here?
Because she wants my help or something? Or attention? What?
Which direction do you keep turning?
Right.
So she's facing that way, so in case you turn on her, she can see it immediately. She can catch it. Okay. Do you see how, did you see the progress of what happened right there? Okay. What did you see?
She figured out that she needed to walk next to me on the left.
Uh-huh.
And that she shouldn't be stopping to smell other things and stop to just, like, you know, compose herself. Is that right?
Correct. So here, let me have you go and step off to the grass facing towards the sidewalk. And you're gonna keep her so she's on your left, so just turn to your right. Yep, turn again. And then so you're right beside her. Mm-hmm. Now here you're gonna pull up on your leash and tap. Relax, up on your leash, tap. Up on your leash, tap. Go ahead and shorten your leash. And when you pull up, you're gonna keep subtle but consistent pressure up until she sits up, okay? So you're gonna shorten a bit more. About right there, now pull up. You're gonna keep that like that, and now relax. Now shorten more. More. And now relax, okay? Go ahead and take a step back so you're next to her. So here, if she becomes reactive, your instinct now should be to pull straight up, okay? We tend to want to pull back or up and back. So we're gonna watch here. Watch her. See how she's staring? We're gonna watch. Wait a second. Up, tap, 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 up, and now relax. So here, you're bobbing.
Okay.
Up and hold up.
Okay.
And here, instead of bobbing, you would tap on the collar until you create a sitting position, okay? Now, this is not telling her to sit, okay? Mm-hmm. This is the difference between obedience and behavior. What are you telling her if we're not telling her to sit?
Just to calm down?
Yes, to relax, okay? That's what you're telling her here. So there's a difference between sit and relax, but it looks like a sit, okay? When she escalates and you pull up and you tap, you're de-escalating, okay? But as a reference point, the dog goes into a sitting position because it's easier for them to understand that, okay? So now, I'll try to cover all this. Up, tap, and then relax. Wait a moment. Up, tap, and then relax. Wait a moment. Good. And you're gonna anchor yourself and you're gonna stay right there. You don't move, she moves to you, okay? So here, the reason why we're putting her in a sitting position is if she lays down, two things have to happen or will happen. You do this, right, to make up for that, that's uncomfortable. Or we give slack. So then if she decides to lunge, now she has 3 feet of slack to lunge forward as opposed to a foot.
Okay.
So this limits her range of motion. And going to pull up, you see how quick that is? Going to give a bunch of slack back. Give all the slack back like from before. Now pull up. You see that difference?
Right.
Go ahead and shorten again. So whenever we're dealing with reactivity, in the beginning, it's easiest for you to control your dog in a stationary position rather than walking. You might hear trainers say, oh, don't make the dog sit. It's too hard for the dog. Well, life is already hard as it is, because that's why she's here, right? Up, tap, good, and then relax. Excellent. So here, she has to learn how to deal with the world, okay? So in order for her to learn how to take bikes and dogs and kids walking by, She has to see it, do what she wants to do in response, because she's stressed, so she's gonna be reactive, and you go, that's not an option. I don't care what you do, but reactivity is not an option for you when you see a dog or a bike, or if Jessie gets too close. That is not an option. Do something else, okay? So most trainers will say, make your dog focus on you. Make your dog, look at you with the food or whatever, right? Or cover their eyes or body block and all that stuff. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to use food to get her to focus on one thing, I say there's 999 other things you could do, but you can't do that one thing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You can't bark and lunge, but you could look at the tree, you could look at the squirrel, you could look at me, you could look at the ground, look at your paws. I don't care. But don't look at that dog and lunge at them. Right? As opposed to look at this one thing out of this entire environment.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here, what we're doing is we're teaching the concept of pressure. Okay? Pressure on when we need her to do something, pressure off when she complies.
Okay.
This also applies to behavior. So if she's lunging and barking, pressure on because we want her to stop. Pressure off when she stops. Does that make sense? So the reason why we start with the heel is because when a dog feels e-collar, their first instinct is to move, and typically it's to move away if they want to run, okay? So when we were pressing the button earlier and she was fidgeting around, that's the movement, right? She's like, I'm feeling this thing, I don't like it, I want to get away from it, or I want to do something to get it to stop, right?
Yep.
Heel is a moving behavior. So when she feels the collar, she's able to express and practice that need to move in response, but we're teaching her to follow. Okay, so you're teaching her, hey, when you're at my side, pressure turns off. When you're not at my side, pressure turns on.
Yeah.
And this is why the turns are so important. So if she's on our left and we turn inwards, it would bring her to your right. Okay? That's why we keep turning to the right, so it'll bring her to our left. Okay? So most people, when they teach the heel, they'll yank the dog or pull them back or remote them to bring them like this. But the problem with that for dogs is they don't understand why it's happening. So if you're walking with someone and they're walking too fast, you can smack them and say, hey, you're walking too fast. And they go, oh, I'm sorry. And they slow down and they walk with you. Dogs don't do that. It's too complicated. So instead, we give her the opportunity to get away from you with the slack. And when she gets ahead, you would pivot off to the right and you start tapping. So for her, she feels the collar. She's like, hey, this sucks. She turns around, dad's going that way. She catches up, it disappears. Then she passes you again. You turn, you tap. She's like, hey, it's back. And now dad's going that way. She catches up, it disappears. So she's seeing, it's very obvious to her when it turns on and she's like, what's going on? And she turns and she sees you moving away from her in the opposite direction. It draws her to you. And in the moment, boom, she's here, goes away. So now she starts to learn, when I'm in this pocket, pressure is off. So when she would go to your right side and you would keep forward, you'd pull left and you would tap, telling her you don't want to be here. And as soon as she came to the left side, boom, it goes away. So what she's learning is there's an answer, but she's also understanding why it's turning on. Okay, and that's the main thing that trainers struggle with, because just because somebody uses e-collar doesn't mean they know how to use it correctly. So it's like for humans, like if you woke up every morning with a ticket on your car and there was no reason why, don't you think you'd get pretty pissed off about that? Because you don't understand how to avoid it. That's why there's signs that say no parking here from this time to this time. Or the Wednesday sign is up going, we're going to clean the streets on Wednesday, so don't be here if you don't want to get a ticket. There's a way to avoid the consequence. So for the dogs, it's the same thing. Most of the time, the way trainers layer e-collar, the dog doesn't understand why it's turning on, how it's turning on, and how to turn it off. So that we create frustration, aka more reactivity. That's why if you read the literature, it'll say don't use this on an aggressive dog because it can create more aggression. Because most people apply it wrong. Okay? Yes, it can incite a behavior, but we have to keep the pressure on until the dog learns that that's not the response we want. And then when they stop the aggressive behavior, pressure turns off. Because that's exactly what happened right now. She lunged at that barking dog, and you pulled up and tapped, and boom. Earlier when that kid or whatever ran by, and she lunged at barking, you tapped, boom, right? Stop. Because We're at a number she's respecting.
Okay.
It's concerning, right? So if up on your leash and then relax, good. So if a consequence isn't really firm enough, animals will continue to repeat the behavior. So like, you know, running a red light's like $100 for a fine. Imagine if it was $1,000. Imagine if it was $10,000. Do you really think people would want to gamble running a red light? No. But if you think about it, it's low enough to deter people, but not so low that people won't do it, because that's how the city pays for stuff.
Right.
It's through fines, right?
Yeah.
But does that make sense?
It does.
Right? Same thing for your dog, okay? But we have to operate at a level that she just does not want to come back. We cannot be, well, I feel like this is too high, and you know, I don't want to hurt my dog. I don't want to hurt the dog either, but we can't gamble or risk her randomly lunging at someone while you're just walking.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'll admit it's hard, you know, right now just getting comfortable with like zapping her and watching her, you know, react like that.
Correct.
But I know that I can't bring her into this other environment. Like, I'm gonna head to disaster if I don't get her.
Correct.
You know.
I mean,
so.
and then like, let's say you're operating in a way that makes you feel better about this approach with her, right? For example. But now your life is an anxious mess.
Yep.
Because now you have this thing you have to worry about.
Yep.
Right? So, and you're not the first person, you're not going to be the last person. I get it. But my job is to come in, and all the stuff that we're seeing is normal. Because now she's being spoken to the way she's supposed to be spoken to.
Okay.
Right? If we're doing it incorrectly or doing it in a way that's kind of working around the dog, we're just prolonging the process, and we're making life more stressful for everybody. Okay? So the fact that she was bucking back and stopping and going, whoa, what's going on? It's because you're at a number that she's like, whoa, what are we doing? Like, I don't like this. Up.
Yep.
But that's why she's going to behave herself. And then ultimately, over time, you would do less. Because now she's like, well, I don't want 45 to come back.
Yeah.
Okay, or whatever that number may be.
Yeah.
So, and this is, I'm going to give you instructions for the week and stuff. We have more reps to do.
Okay.
So that, because we have to find consistencies.
Yeah.
So today it might be 45, tomorrow might be 45, and then the next day it could be 35.
Okay.
It could go down, it could stay static, or it can go higher.
Okay.
Okay, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just whatever's gonna work for her. Okay? But I'll give you a structure so that you can see it for yourself, and it's not just assumptions.
Okay.
Okay? So it's going to be a bit of an experiment this week, but then once you hear it and you practice it, it'll make complete sense.
Okay.
Okay? Questions so far?
Not yet.
Going to come to the sidewalk, and you're going to give that slack back. Very good. And then you're going to just go do the back and forth like we did just a moment ago, okay? Keep forward. Keep forward. Tap. Good. Going slow turn. Yep, keep forward. Good, pull to your left. Good, keep forward. Good. Going to keep forward, tap. Pull, tap, there you go, good. Going to go to the sidewalk, keep forward, tap. Good, keep forward, good. Keep forward, yep. Keep forward, good. Going to slow turn. Good turn. Good, slow walk, keep forward. Slower, keep forward. Now slow to stop. Okay, so that's all right. Forward. Good. Going to pick up your pace. Slow turn. Good turn, keep forward, go to pick up your pace. That was a good turn. Go a bit faster. Good, slow. Slow turn. Yep. Keep forward. Pull left tap. There she goes. Good. Keep forward. Keep forward tap. Good. Good. Yep. Forward. You got it. There she goes, atta girl. There you go. Now slow turn. Tap. Good. She got distracted by something over there. slower. Stop. Good. So that's where she should be. You see that? Whereas the other time she overshot a bit. So here, when she's in sync with you, it should be at your hip, and then when you stop, it should be like that. So go ahead and take one little step back. So the perfect heel position is her right shoulder to your left leg.
Okay.
That's your visual, okay? Now, if she's a little behind, it's okay, but never in front, not even an inch, okay? So her right shoulder can be parallel to your left leg, and I give a foot bubble. A foot to the left, a foot behind, but no distance forward. That would be her little bubble there. So as long as her right shoulder is somewhere within that pocket, we're good, okay? Go ahead and move forward. Good, go ahead and speed up. And slow turn. Good turn, go to pick up pace, pull left tap. Good, go ahead and pick up pace, keep forward. Go ahead and slow, keep forward. Slow turn. Good. And then here you're gonna step off to that little pocket like where you were earlier. Good. Yep, and face towards me. And then you'll go ahead and shorten your leash. There you go. Good. And relax. Excellent. Okay. So you're gonna be shifting, okay, in terms of how you hold the leash. When you have nice open space and plenty of gap between you and potential threats to her, we have more slack, because that lets you know where she's at mentally, okay? Because if she's right shoulder to your left leg and walking with you, so you know how we're changing paces and she's changing the pace with you, that's because she's paying attention. Okay? So that shows you like, oh wow, she's learning. She's learning she should follow my lead. When you step aside, we see a dog, a stroller, whatever her triggers may be, you would step aside, face the trigger, shorten your leash like so, and then your responsibility is her. Okay? So if you see something coming, don't stare at that, look at her, but don't get tunnel vision. So a lot of people, they're so focused on their dog, this is all they see, and this dog could be approaching and you don't know it, okay? So you're watching your dog, but you're using your peripheral range to see what's going on here as well. Because sometimes people will think you're stepping aside for their dog to say hi, okay? Up on the leash, and you might think, but Jesse, she's got a muzzle. It'll still happen. Okay.
Don't want that.
So don't get tunnel vision. And what we want to see, so most dogs, they start to get interested around here. And then this tends to be the hardest. Okay. So when you see a dog passing by, if nothing's happening here, I expect something would happen here. Okay. So this allows you to be more proactive and kind of predict things, right? So if all this is doing well, and then you notice this is where she's always reactive, right? Every single time. And you're able to stop it with the collar, but she's always reacting here. What does that tell us?
That's her little comfort zone then? That's the area that she no longer is able to tolerate whatever it is?
Correct. And let's say we're correcting her at 45. And every time every time you see a dog, she always blows up. Okay, you can stop her, but she always blows up. What does that tell us?
I don't know.
You're too low. So 45 will stop the behavior, but it won't deter the behavior. Okay, so the theory here is stop and deter. Okay, so this is all just, there's gonna be a bit of failures, okay? So we've had 2 or 3 reactive moments today, and 45 has done reasonably well with stopping it, okay? So if, let's say, you pass by 10 dogs, and at 45, she's reactive 9 out of 10 times, we know 45 is not working, okay? So then I go 50. And let's say at 50, she's reactive 8 out of 10 times. Better, but we still got 80%, right? 55. So you're just going up gradually and correcting the reactivity until you find a number where you're like, man, I tapped her at 75, and I haven't seen reactivity in 3 days. And I've had 100 different moments where she would typically be reactive.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
So we're not going, she's being reactive, let's go to 100. It's going to be gradual, so we expect it's going to be a shitty week or so.
Yeah.
As you're finding that number, but that's how you figure it out. Okay? Because if we jump to 100 and it stops the reactivity, well, how do I know that 80 when it worked?
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you come in too harshly, it can be so harsh that the dog doesn't process the correction. They're so worried they're just so like, right, about the correction. They don't think about why it happened. So you want it to be high enough that yes, it'll stop and then deter her, but low enough that she can process like, oh, if I lunge and bark, I'll get 75. Okay, I'm not gonna do that again. Make sense? So it's all like bigger. It's a bunch of pieces to a puzzle, and we're just trying to figure out where they all fit.
Okay.
Okay. So for this week, when you're working with her, what you're going to do is when you come outside, I already have everything turned on. I suggest letting her potty first, and then starting this process. Okay. So once she's pottied, you'd step aside. It's easiest if you're stationary, keeping her still, because when you tap her and she feels it, she's going to be really obvious. But if you're moving and trying to figure it out, I don't know if she's moving because of the collar or is she moving because we're moving.
Yeah.
So you would start at 15. And I have my 3-tap rule. We got a dog approach behind us. Going to move forward. Yep. And then go ahead and come to a stop there. And watch here. So see how she's observing?
Yep.
Ears back. Up tap, tap, tap. Right? And then relax. Good. And then go to reposition.
At the same time, I just think, what a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I know.
Like, turn your fucking phone off and save your little dog from getting chomped.
Yeah.
Dick.
Welcome to the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and reposition.
Back over here.
Yep. And so like earlier when I said people come up like to say hi and stuff, trust me, it may happen. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't fix stupid.
No.
So
no,
here,
can't.
you would start at 15, and I have what I call my 3-tap rule. Okay. Every 3 taps, if I don't see a considerable response, I bump it 5 levels.
Okay.
So that's what we did earlier. 15, tap, tap, tap. 20, tap, tap, tap. 25, tap, 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 right? Until we hit 45.
So after I let her go to the bathroom, I'm just gonna hang out and wait for something to trigger her and then.
No.
No.
So you let her potty.
Yeah.
She's done. Step
Yes.
up, just wait and find that working number just like we did earlier. Okay. It just
I see.
happened
All right.
coincidentally because that kid or whatever came just after we found the number.
Yep.
And then we used it. So
Yep.
that was just by coincidence. We wouldn't actually wait for that.
Yep.
You would establish the number first. And so what you're looking for is like, let's say you hit 40 and she goes from over here and moves right to your side. Then I would think 40 is probably my working number.
Okay.
Because it brought her from there to here. Okay. Because that's what she's learned today. Come to dad's left side. We got a dog right there. Take a look at her. See how she's looking. Go to give a tap. And wait a second. And then up on your leash. Tap. And then stay where you are. Lightly pull forward. Tap. And up on your leash. And then relax. Okay, so look at her attention now. See how it's back on the dog? Okay, so here, what we're doing is you're telling her that dog is 50 feet away. Don't need to stare at it. Okay, so you're correcting the staring.
Okay.
But she's still staring.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that tell us?
It wasn't a big enough correction.
Correct, right? The number's not high enough. And then we're also taking in like that dog was 50 feet away.
Yep.
Right? So all these things, it's kind of like, it's like math, right? And you're just kind of balancing everything out. You're like, oh, that dog's 50 feet away. I'm at 45. She's still wanting to stare.
Yep.
Okay, and it just kind of gives you an idea that if the dog is closer than 50 feet, it's probably going to be harder, maybe a higher number. But again, these are all things that we're figuring out this week. Okay, so here, once you found that working number, it should only take you like a minute or so.
Okay.
Okay.
So the response I'm looking for is for her to just come directly to my side.
Something obvious.
Okay.
Okay. So like, she either moves to your side, or you might see her go like this.
Yeah.
Like a big movement to one hit.
Okay.
Okay, if you're going tap, 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 and she's kind of like, what's going on? You're too low. Okay. And in the video, it's more subtle. With her, we're looking for a more exaggerated response because of the reactivity.
Okay.
Okay. So like, let's say at the beginning of every walk, you're gonna repeat this exercise. And you're gonna start your walk. Let's say it's 40. You start your walk. and you notice at 40, she keeps trying to pull ahead, I have my 3 correction rule. So remember when you were turning and tapping, right? That's 1 correction. So it's turn and tap, turn and tap, turn and tap,
Okay.
and she's still pulling. Reset your count, bump it 5 levels.
Okay.
Okay, now we're at 45. Turn and tap, turn and tap, turn and tap. She's still trying to pull. Reset your count, bump it 5 levels. Now we're at 50. So once you hit the appropriate number, you're gonna hit the button. Let's say it's 60. She's gonna come to your side, and she's not gonna wanna pull.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're gonna be like, wow, I've walked for 20 minutes, and she's been at my side, no pulling, no problem.
Yep.
So at that moment, 60 is the working number, because it's the number that very obviously brings her to your side and then prevents her from forging, okay? So this week is gonna be a bit of craziness because you're trying to figure it out. But next time I see you, I'm gonna ask you, what's the highest you went?
Yeah.
And you might say 65. And then I'll say, what's the lowest you operated at? And you might say 45. And I'll say, when do you think she was at her best? At 65. And then I'll go, how often did you have to go to 65? Almost every walk. Then I'll say, start at 65. Okay? Because consistently, that number is the number that you have to go to in order to get her to behave to the level you want her to.
Yep.
Okay? And it might be 65 the first couple of days, and all of a sudden you notice 45 gets you the same result as 65. Then now it's 65, because the more she gets exposed to the collar, the more sensitive she becomes to it, because now it's something that doesn't go away.
Okay.
Because people tend to use the collar at the extreme. Right now the dog's being bad. Where I use the collar for every little thing I disagree with. So then the dog's like, holy crap, this thing is a constant thing, right? This thing is something that's every day. They become more sensitive to it, okay?
So every day you're going to start out with recalibrating the number?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, every walk, every day. So that's three walks a day, 7 days a week until I see you, okay? Because that gives you a lot of examples, right? Where you might say like, yeah, Jesse, I typically start at 40, 45, but I usually almost ended at 65, and once I was 65, the walk was beautiful.
Okay.
I go, all right, we start at 65 now.
3 walks a day.
Correct,
Okay.
okay? 20 minutes is the ideal.
Yeah.
Dogs are better in smaller chunks. So 3 20-minute walks a day would be perfect. If all you have is 1 solid hour for the day, that you can do, then just do the 1 hour, that's fine.
Okay.
She would just learn slower.
Okay. I'm keeping an eye on her these days. She got a shot in her shoulder, like a steroid cortisone shot in her shoulder, maybe like a month ago.
Okay.
She was starting to limp. She's had a knee surgery, so I took her back, and he didn't really know what it was. So he's like, all right, we'll give her something in the shoulder. It seems to be where her pain is. Half the time it'll help, half the time it won't. He said rest her for 4 to 6 weeks, we'll see what happens. So I haven't been giving her a lot of walks. I just kind of limited to like a short one a day at the moment.
Sure.
But I'll go to 2, we'll see what happens. Try at 3 if she's still keeping up.
Yeah, even if you do 3 10-minute walks, it's multiple times a day.
Yeah.
That's most beneficial.
That's the trick. Okay.
Okay. So, take a look at our time here. Questions on any of that?
Not so far. I mean, I certainly have I got the sense for calibrating the number, and also kind of the turning and walking, trying to keep her, at my side. If I, see something that's likely to be a problem coming up, then I do the same thing, sort of step to the side,
Yeah.
shorten the slack, and just wait for that thing to pass and see how she reacts.
See what happens. Okay. Now you can be proactive, and you can correct her for staring.
Okay.
Okay. And you might find you correct her for staring, and all of a sudden she blows up. So that's where we think, oh, it made the problem worse. It's not that it made it worse. Like, she was already thinking about blowing up, but because there was some kind of physical in the moment, she's just responding to it. Okay. So then you would pull up and tap until she de-escalates.
Okay.
And if you feel like it's a struggle to de-escalate her, then that tells me 45 is too low in that moment.
Okay.
So the next time I come across that, I might jump from 45 to 50, because I already know from the previous experience that 45 didn't work very well.
Okay.
So it should feel like night and day. So for instance, when I first met you for the consultation and we were doing the hand on the butt with the harness,
Yep.
remember how much you had to work on her with that?
Yeah.
Earlier, she laid down like a handful of times and she had a hard time staying seated.
Yep.
Now she's been seated for about 5 to 8 minutes and she's not trying to lay down again.
Yep.
So that's what I call like a kind of night and day difference, where it's very obvious, like, wow, the dog's picking up on it. When you stopped her earlier for that initial lunge and the following lunge, right, it was pretty straightforward. Whereas last time, because of the tools we had, it wasn't as straightforward. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So whenever you're working with her, you should feel like you're making progress. Okay. If you find yourself in a moment, let's say it's a big dog lunging and barking at her, and you're at 45 and you're doing everything I told you, and you're like, this isn't working, and you walk away from the situation, that's fine. Okay. But now I've learned, if I got another large dog being reactive to my dog, 45 ain't gonna cut it.
Yep.
Okay. So when I see that potential situation, I would be higher.
Okay.
Okay. So that's where you start to learn these things. So what's nice about this is that even though we know she's gonna be reactive, you have a structure, you have tools, you have a means of making progress, right? So you're gonna get failures. That's part of the process, but that tells us what's not gonna work. Okay. So then as you go along, you'll start to learn like, oh, when it's another dog that's her size and it's reactive, it's 85. If it's a little dog, it's 45. If it's a person on a bike, it's usually not a problem. If it's a dog behind a fence, I could be at 100. Like, you start to learn all these things. So when you see the situation, you're just adjusting the collar as needed, because there is no concrete set in stone answer.
Yeah.
It's the ability to adapt to any situation within the moment. And then you just kind of file these things away. So when you need it, you already know what to do. Okay.
Should we keep going with this collar or this?
I would still upgrade it. One, because you paid $330, so you're supposed to get your correct collar, because that's cheaper, technically speaking. But also, everything's going well today. I liked what I saw. It's about what I would expect. Is you always want to think worst case scenario. Okay. Let's say you're walking with your dog and some jackass walks up with this dog, just like what happened earlier, right? Now that dog is here to her, not here, here. That's where you might need more power. So it's the rule of, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Okay.
Maybe I just buy one off of you while I figure it out with Amazon.
That's fine. We're just down the block.
Yeah.
We have them in stock right now.
Okay. I was gonna suggest maybe I keep going with this for the week, but the next time I see you on Saturday, could you bring me
the only thing about that is, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an issue, because for what I know, Amazon just takes shit back. Would be returning your collar. Right? Because the longer you have it, you're gonna use it up. It's gonna get nicked or whatever.
All right.
I don't care what you do.
Yeah. Are you guys available then during the week? Like if I wanted to cruise by tomorrow or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could let Maria know, and she can give you my up on your leash. She can give you the facility number, and I'll let my staff know to have one set aside for you.
Okay.
And then you could just pick it up and then return that and just tell them they sent you the wrong model.
Yeah.
Because they absolutely did.
Okay.
Okay. And in terms of your setup, what we have here is good. So then if you have a carabiner or whatever you said that's set up, you can remove your harness. You won't need the harness anymore.
Yeah.
I would just do what you did today.
Okay.
As we progress, then we can remove the prong if we feel like she's making great progress. The prong gives you more physical leverage.
Yeah.
So if you turn the corner and there's a moment, you have that immediate control, whereas with the flat collar, you don't.
Yep.
Also, your flat collar, since it's a snap buckle, the concern is it snaps and breaks. A flat buckle collar, like a belt buckle, is the style that I always recommend, because those won't break.
Okay.
Or at least I've never seen one break. I've seen those break.
Yep.
Or if you just do your e-collar prong setup, that would also be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Personal preference.
Okay.
There's no law.
Yeah. For now, I'll stay with the prong and the e-collar. We'll see how it goes.
Other question?
I don't think so. Not at the moment.
So if you have any questions during the week, you can shoot me an email at the email I emailed you from.
Okay.
Otherwise, this exercise 3 times a week for as long as she can, 10 minutes or whatever. 3 times a day for the week, if she can. And then next class, we'll review everything, and we should start to see a big chunk of that reactivity start to just go down. Okay.
Okay.
If you feel like it's staying the same, it's not getting better, it's because we're too low.
Okay.
And if I'm going to help you adjust as we go along.
Okay.
But we should, from what I'm seeing so far, I'm going to say about a 60 to 70% progress rate in terms of like her reactivity, dipping, and all that.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
You want this thing back?
You can take the carabiner and the mic and just set it right there. I'll grab it.
Okay.